What if I told you the traits you dislike in other people are actually the traits you dislike in yourself? Well, at least according to Carl Jung. Most people tend to believe that they know themselves fairly well. These are my values, this is my personality, these are my emotions, and this is my identity. But Jung believed that these are the parts of ourselves that operate outside of our consciousness. Emotions, desires, impulses, all those parts that we've hidden and rejected and suppressed deep down in our unconscious mind. It's pretty cool. And strangely, the more that we deny them, the more prominent and the more power they hold on us unconsciously. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. So who is Carl Jung, and why does this man from the 1900s know so much about me? And Carl Jung was a Swiss psychiatrist, a psychoanalyst who became one of the most influential psychological thinkers in the 20th century. And he originally worked very closely with Sigmund Freud. And if you haven't heard of Freud, where have you been? So he originally worked with Freud and eventually developed very different ideas about the mind, personality, and human development. While Freud focused heavily on repression and unconscious drives, Jung became increasingly interested in symbolism, identity, meaning, spirituality, and the unconscious personality. Many of his theories remain controversial today, specifically because they're difficult to scientifically test. But despite these criticisms, Jung's ideas do continue to influence psychotherapy, literature, philosophy, personality theory, and even modern-day discussions about identity. And one of his most famous ideas, and my favourite, is the shadow self. Before Jung explained the shadow self, he first looked at persona. Persona meaning your social mask. Jung believed that humans naturally developed many social masks, versions of ourselves designed to function within society. The persona helped us to adapt, to fit in, to work and build relationships, and also to just navigate expectations. And to some extent, we all do this. I mean, you're obviously going to speak differently to your friends, and if you're at a job interview, different environments are always going to bring out different versions of you. But Jung warned that problems could emerge when people become overly identified with the persona, when the socially acceptable self becomes the one only self allowed to exist. And let's be honest, modern life absolutely intensifies this. Social media, constant visibility, often encourages people to present a highly curated self. Not necessarily fake identities, but definitely selective ones. And over time, those parts of ourselves that we thought societally wouldn't be accepted eventually became hidden. And this is where we introduce the shadow self. Now, to be clear, Jung did not believe or describe the shadow self as inherently evil, but the shadow did include feelings and emotions like anger, jealousy, selfishness, insecurity, vulnerability, ambition, emotional need, and sexual desires. Anything that we'd learned that was unacceptable or unsafe to express. So a child that learns that anger is unacceptable may grow into an adult that avoids conflict, or somebody that's taught that vulnerability is weakness may become emotionally avoidant. And eventually these rejected parts don't simply disappear, they simply move outside of conscious awareness, which is pretty cool. And Jung believed that the stronger we suppress these feelings and emotions, the more they influence our unconscious behavior. And this is where things become slightly uncomfortable. Jung proposed that humans often engage with something called projection. Projection meaning attributing those unwanted traits to others. And in simple terms, sometimes the qualities we react to most intensely in others are qualities we struggle to recognize or accept in ourselves. I know what you're thinking. That doesn't always apply to every single person we dislike. Sometimes people just genuinely are very difficult. But occasionally intense, frequent reactions can reveal something important, particularly if you're getting angry or upset about the same quality in multiple people. For example, someone who may suppress ambition may be quick to judge confident people as arrogant, and someone that is uncomfortable with anger may feel deeply unsettled around people that are assertive, or at least a very common one, someone who hides their emotional needs may criticize others for being too sensitive. I feel like that one may be very relevant. So sometimes what disturbs us most in others reflects something unresolved in ourselves. So moving on to individuation. Jung believed that psychological growth and development came from something called individuation, the process of integrating hidden or rejected parts of the self rather than pretending they do not exist. Individuation meaning becoming psychologically whole. Jung argued that growth doesn't come from perfection. It comes from being more honest. And if we're honest, modern culture doesn't always appreciate that. Or accept it. And importantly, Jung believed that integrating the shadow self didn't mean acting on every emotional impulse. It meant becoming aware enough to recognize those hidden parts inside of us, rather than being unconsciously controlled by them. For example, recognizing that you feel jealousy doesn't mean that you have to act cruelly. Sometimes it's asking, what do I feel jealous of? What about that person is sparking that emotion for me? Is it something they have? Is it something they're doing? Is it something that I feel I'm lacking? It's about recognizing and acknowledging those emotions honestly, rather than pretending that you're above them. Jung believed that psychological health came from integration, allowing opposing parts of ourselves to coexist continuously. Instead of splitting ourselves into good and bad, it was about being one whole human being. Later writers were influenced by Jungian ideas, including a book that I was recommended to read 5 years ago, which I finally got round to reading, by Debbie Ford. Though it was written in 1998, the year I was born in, it is a very informative book. There are some aspects of it that are very much of its time. However, the actual preface and the message of the book is very good, and I would definitely recommend a read. It's called The Dark Side of the Light Chasers, and the book argued that people become so focused on positivity, being calm, or good, that they are completely disconnected from natural human emotions entirely. If you are interested in the concept of individuation and becoming whole, this is definitely a good read. But moving back into the concept, suppressing difficult emotions doesn't necessarily remove them. In some and many cases, suppressing these psychological feelings can intensify them. Sometimes shadow work is less about discovering something monstrous or scary within yourself, and more about recognizing perfectly human emotions that you were taught to hide. Jung believed that the goal was not perfection, that it was better to be whole than nice. However, as much as we love the idea and we love the concept, it is important that we remain critical. Many of Jung's theories are really difficult to empirically test, which means that modern psychology doesn't treat his ideas as scientifically robust in the same way that we could treat evidence-based cognitive or behavioral theories. And some of Jung's ideas are treated very loosely online, sometimes drifting quite far away from psychology and more into self-help language. However, despite these criticisms, that's my stomach. Jung's work does continue to influence psychotherapy, personality theory, literature, and modern day discussions on identity. And many people still find his ideas psychologically meaningful, particularly when reflecting on identity and emotional patterns. And of course, unconscious behavior. So how do I apply any of this? It is so important that we remain curious and not judgmental. Ask yourself, what traits in other people trigger something emotionally inside of me? What emotions or characteristics did I learn growing up were unacceptable? And what parts of myself feel hidden, exaggerated, or suppressed? Jung believed that becoming whole didn't mean hiding and suppressing these emotions. And in many cases, these hidden and suppressed unconscious thoughts controlled us in some way. So maybe self-awareness isn't about becoming a perfect person. Maybe it's about being honest enough to recognize that human beings were never meant to be just light. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate.